Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm making this recent or trending boo where you have the pleat, or should I say trending kaftan, where you have double pleat. Some of it carry a single pleat. So I'll start with what I'll need, the measurement. I'll start with the measurement of the length. So you need the length of the gown that you are about to make. Then you need the shoulder measurement of the gown that you are going to make, and also you will need the measurement of the uh, widest circumference of the body. Most times is usually the hip, so you need that measurement also. So every measurement has to be in place before we start the sewing. This is because it will also help to determine the size, the length, the breadth of the fabric that we will need. So box measurement and hip measurement, you are to check which is the biggest, and that is what you will use to fold your fabric. And then you just add a little allowance for sewing. So for this box measurement I have 5.5, but I think the hip measurement for this my model is the biggest. So the hip measurement, and of course the way you see me doing the measurement now is how you go about the measurement. So now I am done taking all the measurement. I just want to be sure of the shoulder and the length. So the length I'm going to be using for this kaftan is going to be 7 inches. So what I'll do is the total length of the fabric will be about 14 inches. That is 7 times 2, because you know the dress will flow to the back and front. So 7 times 2 will be 14. So on a fold, it will not be 7. Then what we do again is to add a little uh, fabric to it, maybe 1 inch or half an inch, which will help to hem the edge of the gown or the kaftan. So at that point, after measuring the 7 inches and adding the sewing allowance, I have 8 inches. So I will not cut. It means if I open this fabric up, I should have 16 16 inches, but on a fold is 8 inches. So you fold the fabric into 4 places, and then you use the parts where the fabric where the fabric is joined together to face yourself, because that's the only part you can cut the neck. This pattern of kaftan, you do not separate the shoulders, because that is part of the style. You don't separate the shoulders, and then whatever you intend to use as your neck size also, you just cut there. So for normal size, you might want to use like 3 inches for your length, and then you can use any depth. So maybe 3 and then 4 inches as depth will give you a perfect neck like this for your own size. You know, I'm using a very small dummy so that we can see everything that I am doing. Okay, so after cutting out the neck, you can split the back of the neck open, which will help it to go through the head freely. That is very important, especially when the neck is not too open. But if you have a very big neck, you might not really need to split the back open. But for this particular style, we don't use big neck. That's, the neck shouldn't be too wide, but it can be deep. The depth can be up to 4 5, it doesn't matter, but at least the length should just be between 2.5 and 3 inches. So what I'll do now is that I'm going to create the pleat. Now you must consider the shoulder because the pleat is expected to rest around the shoulder. So for a normal person, you will create the pleat by folding, marking 6 inches from the neck. Just give a distance of like uh 1 inches or one. I'm talking for a normal size, my dummy is very small, so just give a distance of like 1 inch from the neck that you've already cut, and then you mark 6 inches. Use your tailoring chalk to mark 6 inches, and then give a distance of like half an inch, and then mark another 6 inches. Then you fold it the way I'm folding now. So you can see that I actually spread out the fabric the complete length. So as this fabric is now is the total length, which is about 16 inches, that is here. So the pleat is going to start from one end to the other. So the complete, you just spread it open the back and front and create the pleats. So we'll create the pleats for both the left and right. And for today I'm creating the double pleat pattern. So I'm just using hand needle, maybe just for proper explanation. I want you to see how I fold it and create the pleat. So you can see how it is looking. The pleat is up, then I would fold the other one. So when you mark 6 inches, when you now fold, it will be 3 inches. Three on the left, three, you understand? So it will be 3 inches on a fold, not 6 inches on the fold. Also, you can use 5 inches if you like. 3 inches is perfect. 5 inches, that's 6 inches is perfect, and 5 inches is also okay. So after creating the pleat, you're expected to iron it down very well. Iron it so that so to take the second pleat now, you rest the first pleat down, so you know where that one stop, and then from that particular point you fold in the 6 inches again and repeat the same process of creating the pleat. So with that, you will have the double pleat. So one unique thing with this particular one I'm making today is that I made a combination of fabric where it looks like you are wearing the uh, kaftan on top of a fitted shirt. Meanwhile, it's together. So it's that particular pattern I am making. So I'll be using the fabric you are seeing there now to add to the side. So what I'll do after creating this pleat, I will take the body size and be very sure of the body size I want to work with. So assuming the hip is 40 inches. So when you open it like this, it means it should be um when you open it like, it should be 20 on one part and 20 on the other part. So when you join it, it will give you 40. So you have to be sure that it is enough, is okay, the measurement is in order before you think of joining. So for this particular one, after the pleat, I just cut off the excess from that part, and then I now attach the plain fabric to it. So I attach the plain fabric on both the left and the right. I just use my sewing machine to join that, and I will come back and show it to you. So this is how it will look. So instead of having the the ankara everywhere, I now have this plain one. So at this point now, I will fold the fabric now from the neck, so that I can cut out the armhole. That will be the next thing I'll do, because I'm not leaving it like this. I want to cut out the armhole and then add a sleeve to it. So for me to do that, I'll put the fabric down, I'll fold it equally again from the neck, just like this now. What matters is the neck. The neck, you should get the midpoint of the neck. In short, while you are even walking, you can just notch that part so that you know the midpoint of that place. So what I will do next is to take my shoulder measurement, assuming your shoulder is 16 and on a fold it will be 8. You understand? So I'll take my shoulder measurement, and from that point to my bust, I will also trim out the armhole just the way you see now. So my bust measurement is what will now determine the length. So this is how I'll trim out the armhole, and then I will now cut the fabric to size, then turn it uh, to the back, which will now enable me to join. All right, so I have just joined it now. So after joining it, this is how it looked. You can see it's like I'm wearing uh, a fitted inner, then I now wore the kaftan on it. So this will just be showing on the side, and as well you can add your pocket to this one. You can add pockets to it. So one very important thing is when you are making this pattern, you also need to be very good with ironing. Patient. You have to be patient and you have to do your work ironing. So you put it flat like this, open it up, especially if you have a steam iron, and iron that part very well. Repeat it on the other side and iron it very well. So at this point, I will be cutting out the sleeve. To do that, I will take the size of the armhole. So when I take the size, I will now place that the size on the fabric, and then take the length of the sleeve. So the most important thing is, assuming the armhole, when you measure it, for instance, is, let's say, 8.5, it means when you open it up it will be 17. So you will now add sewing allowance of like 1 inch. So that 17 will now become 18. So with that, you now cut out the fabric. So I want to use this particular fabric in my hand to create two sleeves. So because of that, I will just like cut it out like this. Then I'll face the back to back together. That is the part that is not slitted. You can see that the front is open, but the part that is closed, I'll face it together like this. Maybe I will make a video of a big sleeve so that it will just help us to know how to cut the sleeve. So I will even make a video of how to sew uh, zip the zipper, so that it will help us, because if I use this small dummy, you might not really understand. So you just cut out the sleeve in a using the S form. S, the shape S is what you use to cut out the sleeve, so it will be slopy a little bit like this. So the next thing you do is you turn it to the back, that is, turn the back and then join it together. But before that, you also have to ensure that the edge of the sleeve is neat. So it's for you to decide how you want it, but for this particular one, I will just like hem it a little. I'll just fold it 2 times, not too big, and then I'll just hem it. But if you are folding for yourself, you can decide to use, if you want the fold to be a little bit obvious, you can use like 1 inch to do your fold, not the beginning but the finishing. You can use 1 inch to do your fold. So what you do next is you sew that folded part just like I'm doing now, though I will use my sewing machine to do that, but at least for you to still know that this is the part I'm asking you to sew. So you sew that folded part together. So when you sew, you will have something like this. Then you turn it, flip it over, and then you close the sleeve. So you are expected to close your sleeve before adding it to the fabric. You close the sleeve like this, and then you sew that part, you also sew that part also. So I'll go to the sewing machine. So I'm done with it. I'll just like turn it out. For me to add the sleeve to the dress, I'll need to turn out the right side of the sleeve while I will turn out the wrong side of the dress. I think I'll repeat that. I will turn out the right side of the sleeve and then turn out the wrong side of the dress, and then I'll just fix it inside. So with that, I can sew it comfortably. By the time I will turn the dress to the right side, the sleeve will also be in order. So that is just the normal way you can fix the sleeve. Ensure that the sleeve is the same with the length of the armhole you have, the opening of the sleeve, I mean. So this is how you just fix it in. This is the wrong side of the dress and this is the right side of the sleeve. So you just fix it in like this. Ensure that the part you use to join the sleeve is the same part that is facing where you join this gown as well, or the kaftan. So the two parts that are sewn should be where you begin your sewing, and then you sew it together using your sewing machine if it's for you. But my dummy is very small, so I just use my hand because the armhole is very small and it will be difficult for my sewing machine to sew it. So let us see how it will look now. I'm turning the gown to the right side. So this is how it will look. And this is the same thing I will be repeating for the other side. So this is how it will look like this. You can see it's beautiful. So if today is your first time stopping by this channel and you are yet to subscribe, please do subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video that I will be posting. And if you like this video as well, do not forget to hit on the like button, and don't forget also to hit on the notification bell. I'll see you in my next video. For now, it's bye from my hand. Bye.